Hi, it's Carola. This video is for all the future expats in Paris. So if you're thinking about moving to Paris, this is the video for you to watch. When organizing your temporary housing, for example in the Airbnb or hotel, think that it might take longer than you expect to actually find a permanent place. So I would suggest plan 2 months to find a place, but be prepared that if you find a place you have to move in right away, so you have to start paying from the very next day. So calculate that you might have to pay double rent somewhere. When applying to look at houses, then have the following list ready. So you need to prove that you have an unlimited contract. You need also to prove that that you haven't been fired from that contract yet. So you need a letter with a signature from your managing director that you still work there and that you are not going to be kicked out soon. You have to prove that your net salary is 3 times the rent that you're going to pay. You also need to have a scan of the 3 last pay slips. You have to have proof that for the last 2 years you paid taxes. You have to have a copy of your ID card. Very ideally, you'll have a guarantor who has a stable job in Paris. You also need to have a check that you can fill out and that you can give to your future landlord. France loves checks. So in the German bank system I don't think checks really exist. So you have to make arrangement for that and be able to fill out the check so you can pay your deposit for the apartment that you might want to get. Before actually signing the lease, you also need to have an insurance for the apartment, but that will be the second step just right before signing the lease. The rest of the documents you should have ready when applying. An interesting phone issue: when you call a hotline and nobody picks up for 3 minutes, then the call gets disconnected. I know that they're doing that so you can avoid hanging in the hotline system for 46 minutes just waiting, which already happened to me in Germany. But I think it would be much nicer, instead of being disconnected, that you could just stay in the line as long as you want, because the way they do it in France, after 3 minutes it gets disconnected and you have to call again and you have to go through the phone tree again until you're at that place where you wait for someone to pick up, and then if they don't, then you get disconnected again. So plan to do that 12 times and then tell me that this is not much more annoying than just hanging in the phone line for 40 minutes. Bank account. Considering your bank account, I don't have that much information to give you because they all seem to be equally weird, but the best solution is don't be American, because French banks don't like to deal with Americans because there are English forms to be filled out and they just don't like that. Oh, by the way, people will often ask for a RIB, R-E-B, and they don't want you to just give your account number. No, they want a printed out copy with the bank logo on the side, giving all the information. While in Germany, I basically gave my IBAN and BIC in text messages or emails and then just got the money back. But no, in France they want a copy of a printed out paper with the logo of the bank, giving the same information you could give just in a text message. Mobile phone contract. I remember in Germany being very happy with paying 40 euros and I got 5 GB for that. And here I pay 10 euros and I get 50 GB for that. Shop around. I'm currently with SOSH.fr, SOSH.fr, but I have seen even cheaper offers from Free, FREE, though other people say, well, you get what you pay for, so free isn't the best. So when someone gives you the phone number, they will give them in double-digit numbers, so 06 20 20 20 20. When in Germany I would rather say 20202020. And given that the French numbers are something like 99. So 4 times 20 plus 10 plus 9 in order to say 99. That is complicated. Internet. If you don't have a French provider prior to getting a French provider, be prepared to pay more, because you would usually get a reduction that they have taken you successfully away from wherever you were. I had seen an offer online, and when I was trying to get that offer, because I wasn't changing from another provider, it cost more, because usually there's a reduction if someone successfully stole you from another provider. So I had to pay €3 more for each month, and then after 12 months the prices got even higher, because the offer was only for 12 months for that price and then a higher one. Switch your internet provider often, it will be cheaper. Carte Vitale. I got mine after 10 months, and I was so happy because I had heard from others that it takes a year. And I didn't even start the process, my company started the process, and then I just had to give extra information, and then they were processing it, and then apparently one letter got lost, so I could have applied for the Carte Vitale much earlier, but I waited for the official number. Finally I went to the Social Security office where they gave me the number, and then I applied for the card online, and 8 weeks later I finally had my Carte Vitale. I was so happy. And until then you have to fill out a lot more forms. Depending on where you're from, you might have to change your driving license within the first 6 months of you living here. But for me, as a European who has the new format, so the card, it's fine, I can use that, I can still drive here. Because you don't have your current address on an ID card, you will just run around with a printout of your housing insurance. Taxes. So if you're doing taxes for the first time, you have to go to a website, I'll link it down below. Then you have to fill out the PDF, then you have to print out the PDF, sign the printed out PDF, and then go in person and hand it in. So, and what happened to me was, because in 2017 I was only working for 4 months, my taxes were a little lower than if I had worked here for a whole year. So so this year, when they changed to the system that the taxes get deducted right away, suddenly something went wrong, and they had taken the percentage of what I earned in 2017, which wasn't the right percentage. And so, after unsuccessfully trying to ring someone, I went there in person, and they were very nice and friendly and changed it. I hope you found that helpful, and if you're deciding to move to Paris, let me know. See you next time. Bye.